And there is nothing like a random, hey, you want to do this. Hi, everybody. We're here.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to a live stream on our YouTube channel. This is Peter.
Well, duh. This is Bree.
Well, we're doing this live, so I don't know if we have YouTube subscribers that don't listen to the podcast. So I figured that we would introduce ourselves. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, he's Peter. He's the dude.
I am a dude.
I'm Bree. I'm the chick.
You are that too, yes.
And that's
Uh,
pretty well how it breaks down.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to be doing today is going over John Hurwitz's Twitter Q&A that he did I was about to say November, on June 25th. And for those that don't know, this is actually something that we do on our podcast, our audio podcast, that you can listen to on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeart Music. Is it iHeart? No, iHeart Radio.
We're not
Eh,
music.
I do heart music for sure, but
I
yeah,
heart
you
New
can.
York. I used to
Okay,
have that shirt.
okay, all right. I believe Semi and Prince Akeem also wore something like that in Coming to America. Um, but yeah, this is something that we do for the podcast, and we feel that a lot of people like these episodes because it's a Q&A, so John Hurwitz is answering them to the best of his abilities too. So it's, the most up-to-date news that you'll be able to find really anywhere.
Right, but it was 2 weeks ago now, so we don't know if it's valid anymore.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. We did skip the one that he did in May, and my apologies to those that asked a question and got them answered. But since then, so much has happened, and so many of those questions probably aren't really relevant anymore.
Hey, we had an
But
entire series on the channel that
yeah,
we had multiple episodes recorded of and went back and looked at them and went, okay, we can't do these anymore because they were completely invalidated. So,
that's right. That's right. So as things,
ah, shut up, Siri.
oh wow, even on a live stream,
Even, yeah.
that's
Okay.
funny.
I don't know what. Okay. Put her over there.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so apologies to those that did get questions answered from John back in May. Those also not even relating to like the release of season 3 or anything like that. One person in particular, I want to give an apology to is Andrew P, because I think some of his questions, they were just kind of general Cobra Kai stuff that were pretty good, and so we're not going to get a chance to get to those because I know he did ask shortly after that Q&A when we would be recording an episode, and we still hadn't. So we're going to jump straight to the June 25th one. You got anything else you want to address? I mean, this is, aside from our trivia games that we've been doing on Sunday and then the live stream we did on YouTube, this is actually the first actual episode of what we would typically do on a podcast that we've done in a while.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some ideas. I was like, hey, let's do truth or dare.
Oh, sure,
Um,
sure, sure. Well, what I'm getting to is
which would
there's
end up with
been
us both very drunk on the air, which would be kind of fun.
that would be kind of fun. I mean, we did something like that when we karaoke'd. That was fun too.
Oh, karaoke was fun.
That was a
Um,
lot of fun.
Chris says we should release the video series as the Lost series, but
We could.
no, because nothing we said that, I mean, there were multiple things we said that are no longer valid, so we would end up, you know, making stuff up that we know is not true and
That's true. That's true. We don't want to be
not our thing.
those guys. Yeah,
Not our thing.
that's exactly. We want to be as true as we can be based off of the research that we've done, or the based off of the sources. The confirmed sources.
Kaz is talking about when he fell asleep during karaoke, and it was actually quite funny. Yeah,
I do
everyone that
remember
was at
that.
karaoke, because his little icon would keep blinking like he was talking,
Might
but
have been
then
snoring.
yeah, but it was him snoring, and then I woke him up.
Yeah. Okay, so I have. Okay, so are we just going to be directing our attention to the YouTube screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me bring up. Let me push the button. And there is a shrunk down version of Twitter because all y'all don't need to be seeing what tabs I've got open and stuff.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Holy cow, that's really tiny.
well, let me see if I can. If I try to stretch it bigger, then you can't really. Let me see.
Because I kind of want to be able to just glance over at the chat as well.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. That's good right there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
now I have to move it, though,
Uh,
because it was all shrunk in wrong. All right, so how's that?
that looks great.
Okay, so is the one you see at the bottom June 25th?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
In honor of Cobra Kai's upcoming move to Netflix.
Okay, so, and here's the other thing, everybody. I will be with you for 20 minutes. I have to go pick my son up from work, but then I will be back. So you're going to be in Peter's very capable hands.
Yeesh. My apologies, you guys. This is a first.
What is a first? You doing a show by yourself? You do it all the time.
Do I?
You do interviews and stuff by yourself
Yeah,
all the time.
I mean, the interviews. I'm talking to somebody. It's just the intros and outros I do by myself. But we'll get there. All right. So
I'm going to shrink that a little bit
thanks,
because
Switch.
otherwise you don't see like any of the picture.
No. Yeah. No, I got you.
Okay, there we go.
Uh,
See, like right now, it's like,
yeah, yeah.
Johnny's behind that somewhere. Okay.
Okay. So
Excuse me.
for those that have not heard one of our recaps of John Hurwitz's Q&As, basically Brianna's going to read the question and I will read John's response and then we'll give our thoughts on it. So what we do is we skip anything that's not Cobra Kai related.
Yes, unless I get halfway through and go, oh, wait, that has nothing to do with Cobra Kai. Skipping.
Right, and you guys wouldn't know that listen to the podcast because all that stuff gets edited out.
We fix it
So
in
this is
post.
going to be live. You're going to hear this as is, and I'm going to throw it onto the podcast this same way as well.
Oh,
So,
there you go. Are you sure you're
yeah.
going to be able to resist the temptation to edit us out?
Yeah. I don't know. We will see.
Okay, we need to get going because I got 20 minutes. Okay.
Yes. All right.
But I will
First
be
one?
back. Okay, so
Okay.
starting off in honor of Cobra Kai's upcoming move to Netflix, and this was 3 days after the announcement. Thursday night Q&A. I don't have release dates. Don't ask about that. No spoilers.
Also, 3 days after our live stream, again, if you guys are newer to our channel, check our videos. We have the live stream with John, Josh, and Hayden, and with appearances from Ralph Macchio, and Billy Zabka.
Daniel suddenly German. Okay. First question is from Jack Lee. It looks like Big Boots. What came into making Cobra Kai an official thing? Was it an idea one day you three came up with? And what obstacles did you guys have to go through? Also, how much to get a follow from you?
Hayden, Josh, and I had the idea. We pitched to Sony and Will Smith's company Overbrook to get the rights to Karate Kid. Then convinced Ralph and Billy to come on board. Together we pitched the show around town, decided on YouTube because they guaranteed a full season. Anybody that follows them, not only were they guaranteed a full season, it's without it even being written, right?
Yeah, they were guaranteed a full season without a script.
Right. So there's that.
Yeah, you can't really turn your nose up at that. Next question is from D at Daniel Goodwin. Where is Mike Barnes?
Maybe one day we'll find out. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
I know where Mike Barnes is tomorrow.
Mike Barnes will be on this very YouTube channel tomorrow. He is our guest host for the live stream of the All Valley Trivia Championship.
Well, and in spirit anyway, I hope he doesn't give Sean nearly as much trouble as Lynn gave poor Susan.
Oh, this is true. This is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yes, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Be there or your karate is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be awesome. Next question from Leotis. How is the trailer for season 3 coming along, if you can say anything about it? Which season did you have the most fun filming? And Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai? That's 3.
Yes, it is.
Cheater.
Netflix just came on, so they are just getting started with marketing. Seasons 3. I'll read it as is. Seasons 3 was my favorite to film. Had the best weather and schedule, and I could never pick between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. Miyagi Kai? Hashtag Cobra Kai.
He can't say that. He stole that from us.
I'm not saying anything about that. Now, here's something interesting. He definitely did a Matrix move here and dodged the trailer question because
yes, he did.
The trailer is done, is it not?
No, the YouTube trailer was done.
Right.
We don't know about the Netflix one.
Okay.
I'm guessing no, because they have 2 others to make before that. And they're not going to use YouTube's trailers. I'm sorry. They're just not. That's just like, when stuff would move from NBC to Fox or from Fox to, wherever else, they don't use the old network's trailers.
Right. And shout out to Mike P., one of our group moderators on Facebook. It was him who caught that there had been some activity on the official Cobra Kai accounts on Instagram. He noticed that the latest picture was different from what he remembered. He said 70 some odd photos had been removed from the account. So somebody might have, gone in there to clean up some of the YouTube stuff and taken that out. So that's kind of falls in line with what you're saying. Netflix isn't going to use YouTube's trailer, so they'd have to kind of cut their own.
Right. So they're going to go back and cut out all the nonsense tweets. Excuse me. I would guess the first thing that they got rid of was any mention of the season 3 premiere on YouTube. Since it's never going to happen, that would be a pretty logical thing to start deleting.
Right.
Now we just need, the Facebook and the Twitter. How many times can we poke it with a stick and smack it in the face with a robot? I mean, wake up.
My apologies. I was taking a sip here. Watch Party makes a, let me read his comment in the chat real quick. He says, I still am unsure if they'll make trailers for the first 2 seasons. Do they do that? That's a good question, because if you think about when Netflix acquires movies, like Karate Kid just came back, right? Mm-hmm. Netflix isn't going to recut their own trailer. They're going to use the trailer that's available already.
Right, but the Karate Kid movies are also not now their intellectual property.
I see. Okay.
I'm thinking that they will, just because if I'm reading what everyone is saying correctly, season 1 will be released, then season 2 will be released. They will release them both just like they are a full season of any other Netflix original, which would indicate that they would get trailers.
Okay.
Probably not a full release schedule, because but they released the trailer for Umbrella Academy like 3 days ago, and it doesn't come out until October, I think. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to go, hopefully, that far out. But I really do think they are going to want to bring in as many people as they can for season 1 and season 2 to lay the groundwork for season 3. And the only way to do that is to get trailers for those first 2 seasons in front of people that have no idea this show exists.
Right. All right.
Excuse me. This is the downfall of doing this live. You're going to listen to us cough and sneeze and sniff and all kinds of weird stuff. Okay.
That's right. And all that stuff I usually take out. So we'll see if they make it into the podcast version.
They better, because otherwise you'll look like a big hypocrite. Tucker and Bernie at Tucker Bernard 1. Did you ever meet Pat Morita? And if so, did you share your vision to him of the Cobra Kai series?
I unfortunately never got to meet Pat Morita before he passed, but I've heard so many stories that I feel like I know him. Sounds like he was different but same as Mr. Miyagi. a wonderful person and mentor, and I'm grateful and humbled to help carry on his legacy. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
That's so sweet.
That's very sweet. I mean, I'm not trying to boast or anything. It's like I get what he's saying. We got to step inside, Miyagi-Do, and just because of that, I feel like a bit of a kinship of to some of the actors as well. Sharing that experience.
Mikey Graff was asking if they made new trailers for You or Lucifer. They didn't they did for the first season they had of Lucifer. I haven't seen one for season 5 yet. But they just announced today that it was coming out this fall, so.
Okay.
All right, next question. Jay Burbridge at J, a whole bunch of numbers. What character has been your favorite to watch grow and develop over the first 2 seasons?
Such a difficult question to answer. My first thought was Miguel, but I might have to go with Johnny. What do you guys think? Hashtag Cobra Kai.
Bert.
Okay. Well, we got Bert Light there in season 2.
Right. I'm saying that completely and totally irrespective of Owen being in the chat right now.
Is he still in the chat?
Oh, I don't know if he still is or not, but it's got to be one of the kids to me, because that's where the growth is happening. Johnny and Daniel are not really growing. They're kind of stuck. So, yeah, it would have to be one of the kids.
Mikey's ears get warm? Because it looks like he just popped up because somebody might have mentioned his name.
Who did?
Mike P.
Oh.
He just commented, someone mentioned my name?
I said Mikey Graff. I wasn't even talking about you. Go back to sleep.
But I mentioned him earlier in regards to the Instagram account.
Oh. So he's only 20 minutes late.
So I wonder if he had his spidey senses tingling,
Either that, or he was like, oh, crap, they're on a stream and I'm supposed to be a mod. Okay.
It's fine. We didn't give anybody a heads up.
We barely gave us a heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
Carla Storts at Storts Carla. Would you ever consider bringing back Terry Silver?
We consider bringing back literally every single character that has appeared in the Miyagi-verse. In parentheses, Karate Kids 1 through 4, because they are all canon. Now, they consider, that doesn't mean that they will. Terry Silver has already been mentioned by name in season 1.
Yes, and insinuated multiple times by Kreese in season 2.
Yes.
I really don't see there being any way that he's not the army buddy that took the picture. I don't see there's any way for him to not be the buddy that offered him the job working security, and he felt it was charity, because no one else would be in the position to do that other than Terry. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I definitely think they've danced as close around him as they possibly can. And Daniel has mentioned him in season 1, because that was the guy that was the real piece of crap behind the scenes. And then the channeling of Terry Silver came out again when he was yelling at Robbie. So
right,
Terry's a huge presence in the show. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Hey, Pialani and Jackie and wifey. Okay.
Oh gosh. Well, what time? Jackie's in Australia. What time is that over there? Like 6 a.m. or something?
Yeah, I think Jackie just got up and Kiara hasn't gone to bed yet.
Right. It was like 4 something.
Right.
Almost 5
she
in the
just
morning.
got home and she's apparently been drinking. So, I am envying Kiara at the moment. All right. Pedro Jesus Morales III at Pedro Karaoke God. Do you... I love that username.
It's pretty good.
Do you have access to any deleted scenes from the original trilogy that haven't been seen?
Yes, we do.
Oh, God. Jackie just said it's 1 PM.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Way off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's much later than I thought it was. I thought it was super early.
All right, hang on just a second. My kid just called me. Stop calling me and let me text you. Okay, so I just texted and told him I'll be there in 15. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so Uncle Baby Billy at Haas84. I skipped this one. Any chance for another Harold and Kumar?
Oh, I'll read it. There's definitely a chance. The guys and I discussed the possibility frequently.
There we go. I was supposed to skip that one, which is probably why I skipped it. And then I was like, wait, I skipped that one. And never mind. All right, Will Double S at is cause it catchy. I had no idea that that's what his name actually was. I just called him Will. Oh, are there any Easter eggs from the original movie in season 3?
I cannot see the top.
Up. I scrolled. You should see it shortly.
Oh, okay. It's still. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
Of course, and there's even one from the Karate. Of course, and there's even one from the Karate Kid cartoon. Looking forward to seeing who finds it first. So I remember this one.
Yes, because we talked about this one. There's a whole conversation under this.
Yes, there is, and so this is where you and I were like, "Oh, is he dropping a challenge?"
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one, and this is where a lot of people also found out. Wait a minute, there's a Karate Kid cartoon,
right? But see, he shouldn't have done this. Do you know why?
Why?
Because we know which episode it's in.
Do we?
It has to be that one. It has to be that one. The gauntlet that was thrown down, the whoever finds the Easter egg in this episode is a true fan of the franchise. How could that be? And I called that when he said that. I was like, it's going to be Jack. It's going to be that Daniel has an Uncle Jack.
We'll see.
Or Taki. I mean, it could be Taki.
The young lady,
yes,
on the show?
Yes. Yeah. But I'm going to get my money's on Uncle Jack.
Okay.
If they do the Daniel surfed on a torpedo when he was 17, I'm just done.
Sure.
I'm just done.
I mean, maybe if Daniel was like on some sort of hallucinogen, I don't know.
You kind of have to be to watch
sequence.
that cartoon.
I mean, if Johnny had a dream sequence, I can't see why Daniel can't have one. Surfing on a torpedo.
Of chasing a tiny little shrine around the world and surfing from a torpedo, and Mr. Miyagi hanging upside down from the rudder, or the runners on a helicopter by his knees, and flying cars, and really?
Yes. All of it.
He better be wearing the right headband in the dream sequence, though, because he wore the wrong one in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And his eyes better not be blue. Just saying. All right, Cobra Kai Kid, our friend Drew. Hi, John. You mentioned Cobra Kai expanding beyond the show into spin-offs. Can you talk a little more about this? Are you talking about a series or a specific character?
We haven't pitched any spin-offs yet in an official capacity, but we've had ideas for other series set in the Karate Kid universe since before we shot a frame of Cobra Kai. Very interesting.
And currently going on both Facebook and Twitter, you have a pastor and a homeless meth head having a verbal, sparring match because Ron Thomas and Susan have come up with this fantastic idea for a show.
Oh yeah.
And if you're on Twitter, you need to look up Sensei Ron Thomas or Susan Gallagher and get to the conversation that way. If you're on Facebook, go to the Homeless Lynn spinoff ideas page because it's all detailed on there too, and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. But then we also were talking about the nighttime soap opera detailing the trials and tribulations of the All Valley Board.
Okay.
and I guess George has it out for Ron because he's like a challenger for his authority, and then Mr. Blue Mats has an unrequited thing for Sue, and Sue though has a thing for George, and it's this big whole thing, and it would
Right.
be really good, and I would
It would
watch
be.
the hell out of it.
Now, do you have a specific spin-off you would like to see?
Specific spinoff I would like to see.
Ideas for other series is what I'm referencing there.
Mr. Miyagi as a child.
Yeah, for me, maybe not so much of a child, but when he comes, post war, and without the family and stuff, and making a living in California.
Yeah, how he got from Hawaii to California, how he
Yeah.
got onto the 442nd. I want to see him make that timeline work because he came to the United States right before they locked down immigration from Japan completely.
Hmm.
So he just barely got in here. And I would like that, but then flashbacks to him as a little kid with his dad back in Okinawa, that kind of thing. I think that would be fascinating.
I think so too.
Next is Jeffrey Warfield at Jeffrey Warfield 2. So, who came to you with the idea of a quasi sequel for? At first, I was like, a Quetzalcoatl, what? Oh, quasi sequel for the Karate Kid series.
Nobody came to us with the idea. In the early 2000s, Hayden and Josh and I started talking about doing a Cobra Kai movie centered on Johnny's life present day. Never felt realistic to pursue until we envisioned it as a streaming show in 2017. We pursued.
And we are ever so grateful they did.
And here we are. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this will be my last question before I run and get my son.
Okay.
Theodore at Botanical Darlin. What's been the most interesting part about trying to draw in old fans of the series versus newer, younger fans who didn't grow up with the Karate Kid the same way? I was personally excited to see myself represented in characters like Moon with an LGBTQ subplot.
We try to write compelling storylines that people of all ages can enjoy. If you loved Karate Kid, there's added nostalgia. But we also have the luxury of 4 films worth of flashbacks, and we put as much thought into the new characters as the OGs.
Okay. Now, at this point, the screen will no longer move because I will not be here to scroll it. I'm going to mute my microphone. I'm going to listen to you while I'm going to pick Joey up.
Oh, how weird is that? You're going to be screaming at me and I won't be able to hear it.
I'll text you if I need to. But
Okay.
I turn you all over to Peter, all
Yikes.
on his lonesome, and I will be back in 15 minutes.
Oh, great. This is going to be like that scene in Wayne's World where Garth has to take over by himself right before his head explodes. All right,
No
so here we
exploding
go.
heads. I'm coming back to
Oh,
a-
you're still here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay, fine, bye.
All right. Okay, so you guys are stuck with me. Thanks, Switch. Okay, so here we go. The next one comes from Litecoin 2000. Is Dutch 100% never coming back? And John Hurwitz replies, Goonies never say die. Okay, wrong franchise. But at Cobra Kai, we also never say die, so there's always a chance. And that's something that, John specifically, but the big 3, they always say anybody that has shown up in the Miyagi verse, which is the first 4 movies that include Miyagi, has the possibility of showing up. But it's got to fit the narrative. That's also something that's always said. The next one comes from Rick. Everything has been, let's see here. Everything has been so hush-hush regarding season 3. But we were told early on Okinawa will be in season 3. That seems like a big plot point. Why did you decide to tell us about Okinawa but so quiet about everything else? To which John Hurwitz replies, when you're doing a Comic-Con panel, you got to give the people something. We determined that Okinawa's something likely to be in season 3 marketing, so figured it could be out there sooner. Don't worry, there are plenty of other secrets we're keeping. So let's see here. Watch Party says, party while Brianna's gone. Well, you guys have at it. I will continue to read. So I think to what Rick and John's discussing here about the whole Okinawa thing is just so broad right now that I often say that I'm not the brightest man out there, so I have no idea why Daniel's going over. I've heard people say, "Oh, he's going after Robbie," to which I always question, well, how the hell did Robbie go over there? Why would he go over there? Who does he know? He doesn't speak the language. That makes no sense. Oh, because of the book. That means nothing. I know. So if Daniel goes, why is he going? Who will he run into? Will we see a character from the Karate Kid Part 2 show up? I don't know. So that's why they gave us the Okinawa plot, just because they can go anywhere with it, and we can't even speculate. And I do wonder if anyone's come up with something where the big three has seen it and maybe question, like, oh, they're like really close. Just kind of like the whole Netflix deal. When the accounts went dead and there had been no news about the release of season 3. People were saying, oh, well, maybe they're going away from YouTube because YouTube is going away from scripted shows. So the big three, they saw that. They knew people were talking about it, and obviously they couldn't comment on it. So thank you, Jackie, for the compliment there. All right. Next one comes from @DruidAZT. Have you decided the scene yet when you are going to use You're the Best Around, if that isn't too spoilery to ask? John says, we know exactly how we'd use that song if we use that song. Okay, water is wet, sky is blue. Gave us nothing. Obviously, we know that is eventually going to be used. So I think if he comments anymore on that might be giving something away there. The next one comes from @Guardians_comic. Favorite member of the young cast. John says, I love them all. I could never pick a favorite, but my daughter's favorite is Bert. Well, there you go. I thought I'd be cute, and I said, wait, did I not say? I thought I said something to this. Well, I thought I tweeted at him. But anyway, in my mind, I was thinking about commenting, hey, I happen to know Owen, so if your daughter wants to meet him, I might be able to arrange that. All right. Next one comes from... Nope, already read that one. Okay, this one is @Kruger. Well, yeah, let's just go with Kruger. It's the spelling that's throwing me off here. Any news on if there will be another American Pie movie? Also, thank you for making Cobra Kai. I love the films and TV series, and I can't wait to see what you all do next. John Hurwitz replies, no immediate news on another American Pie movie, but we definitely know what the next slice would look like. Hope to bake it one day. Yeah, I see what he did there. Bake it, right? Because it's American Pie. It's like a pie. You bake a pie. It's a good joke. He's a good writer here. American Reunion is actually pretty good, you guys. If you guys have not seen it in a while, or you just miss it completely, that's before I even knew who John and Hayden were. They wrote American Reunion. That's actually one of my very first movie reviews, coincidentally, and that was before I became a podcaster too. So I think the stars align sometimes, putting me or giving us Cobra Kai and me ultimately reviewing the show and et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, check it out, American Reunion. I like it. The next one comes from @Brady Cummings. I thought it was really interesting when Daniel was teaching Robbie a lesson that Miyagi taught him, but it was one we never saw in the films. Will we see or hear about more of the lessons, or even just time between Karate Kid 3 and Miyagi's death? John replies, we always enjoy filling in the gaps in our characters' timelines. You can expect more of that going forward. So he doesn't deliberately say it, Brady, that is, But I'm assuming he's referring to the wheel technique. For those that never really thought about it, the wheel technique is not something that we saw in the movies and was created for the show. And on the show, they said, when done properly, that whole deal. But you have to have the two people back to back doing it in sync. So how does one teach something if they don't know how to do it themselves? So our question here is, who did Daniel do this with? Maybe it could have been Mr. Miyagi, but who else has Miyagi taught? Well, he also taught Julie Pierce, played by Hilary Swank in The Next Karate Kid. Not saying that she'll come back, but we do wonder if it will be addressed who was the other student that Daniel might have been learning along with, So that's just what we thought about there. Okay, I'm going to take a little swig of my hydration here, you guys. Give me a sec. Great podcasting here. Okay, all right. The next one comes from... Whoa, really? Oh, Brianna's listening too. So, Brianna, that was the end of it. That is really weird because I remembered it going a lot longer. So since I am still doing this on my lonesome, what I will go back and do is try to find his May Q&A and work backwards on that. So you guys speak amongst yourself while I find it, okay? I know it was early May. Maybe if somebody has a question, I can try answering that as I continue to look for that previous Q&A. Trying to think. So obviously there's no other news in terms of season 3, the release date or otherwise, but recently, actually today, I'm trying to remember who saw it first, so my apologies, but there's a Twitter account. It's not the official Netflix one, but it's like Watch on Netflix. I'm forgetting the actual tag. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the chat room there. But they're saying that tomorrow they're going to have a list of release dates for some upcoming content. And I think a lot of us are kind of crossing our fingers that Cobra Kai Season 3 will be among them. At the very least, Seasons 1 and 2. So that's something we can kind of keep an eye out for tomorrow. I am almost there, you guys. Click on his Q&A answers and you can see all the answers. Well, no, that's if he responds to them directly. But what John does is he mentions the retweets, the actual questions. So, okay, let's see. Almost there, almost there. Haha. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, wait, we got a comment here in the group. By the way, Peter, I'm going to self-promote here. Okay, well, go have at it. I will continue with the Q&A. This one, I'm gonna... Yeah, I'll read it. This one comes from @Mansers. That sounds right. John replied... Oh, no. What's the question? The question is, how much freedom does YouTube Premium execs gives you guys? Do they have a say in the script as well? John replies, we have lots of freedom. YouTube and Sony read the outlines and the scripts, but the feedback is minimal. At the end of the day, they let us do our thing. So that's something to kind of maybe not keep an eye on, but something kind of worth noting. And I wonder if there will be any changes under the Netflix umbrella. The next one comes from @Irving_Sin, friend of ours, friend of the show, Helen. She asks, does yourself, Josh, and Hayden collectively come up with ideas when you're writing and bouncing off of each other, or do you individually work on ideas and decide to go with it or not? To which John replies, the three of us plan out the season in broad strokes and have a bunch of ideas for scenes, jokes, and moments, but then we spend 10 weeks with the writers' room brainstorming as a group. So for those that don't know, yes, there are other writers as well. If you guys look at the credits, sometimes you can see that the teleplay, hold on, I'm kind of forgetting now. So often John, Josh, and Hayden come up with the story, but then certain episodes are written by somebody else. I believe that's when it's the teleplay. It is under somebody else's name, but then the big three also get credit for the story as well. Okay, next question.
That was a big, giant, wasted trip to nowhere.
Why? What happened?
Well, I'm tearing all around my living room looking for my keys, right?
Okay.
Because Mr. Universe was driving my car today. And I'm like, well, after like 5 minutes of looking for my keys, I'm like, well, maybe he left them in the car. So I go outside. My car's gone. So he's picking his brother up. I didn't actually go anywhere. I was listening to you the whole time. Watch Party is absolutely right. He answered a ton of questions in line that day because I remember him doing it.
Interesting. So
do you want me to scroll back and catch up to you way back where you are?
Where I am at now?
Yes. Or do you want to try to do the inline? Okay.
Yep. May 9th is where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So I'll continue on until you find it.
Scrolling. And my dog is sonic boom barking on the back porch.
All right, let's see here. This one comes from...
I'm going to go get the dog. I'll be right back.
Okay. At Hacks with Hags. Will we ever see Terry Silver on Cobra Kai or any other characters from Karate Kid 2 or Karate Kid 3? Love how many little details from the original Karate Kid that pop up in the series. It's clear how much you guys love the original movies. To which John replies, expect more legacy characters to appear on the show. Well, there you go. That Dozer ate the pop filter that I sent to Brianna for her microphone. Anywho, continuing on. Next one comes from at Emily M. Quinn. Love Stingray and would love to know whose idea baby that was and what inspired the character. John says, we always loved the idea of seeing adult karate students in Cobra Kai. The moment I saw Paul Walter Hauser in I, Tonya, I knew he had to be on the show. So, for those that are interested, we also interviewed him. That is on the podcast. The next one comes from... I'll skip that one. That's not Cobra Kai related. This one comes from Nick with a bunch of numbers following it. Hey, John, I want to go back to the high school fight. When Robbie confesses to Sam about the Medal of Honor, does she intend to tell Robbie about her kiss with Miguel? John Hurwitz replies, yes, she did. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Peter, is that jazz music coming from you? I have nothing playing, but I'm assuming it's the same music that we have for our trivia game that Brianna probably has playing. I can't hear it, so I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that's what the music is if you hear anything. Hey, Brianna.
I am back. You may still bark.
Do you have that music playing in the background?
Yes.
On the okay. Yeah, somebody was asking about it.
Yep, so I'm trying to find May 9th still.
Alrighty.
And I apologize because Dozer just will not shut up.
Oh, he wants to get on the show. That's what it is. All right, the next one comes from @JohnMann, followed by like 8 numbers. What inspired... Oh, I'm already reading it. What inspired the story of Harold and Kumar? Is it based on your own life? John Hurwitz replies, when Hayden and I first moved to LA, we once spent a night driving from donut shop to donut shop looking for Boston cream donuts. That partly inspired it, but we loved the idea of putting characters like our Asian and Indian friends front and center in the movie. So he has said that many a times. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe those the names Harold and Kumar are also the names of their friends.
All right, I muted because he wouldn't shut up. So
Oh,
now
no problem. That mom tone really make my knees shake there. So
who was it? Said he's 30 years old and freaking scared. Yeah.
all right. So the next one I'm about to go to is Andrew Patterson. So I mentioned him earlier here.
Ah, there he is with the way season 1 ended.
No, this one is about Napoleon Dynamite. So he asked at AC Patterson 975, how do you think Daniel or Johnny or Kreese would do in a fight against Rex from Napoleon Dynamite? To which John replies, they'd all fuck Rex up. So there you go.
I need to watch that movie sometime.
You've never seen Napoleon Dynamite?
I have not.
It's not for everybody. It took me a couple times to really like it. It's very quotable. I didn't like it at first. It took me probably 2-3 watches, and each time I would watch with friends. So I think that's what made the experience fun.
I'm looking for that question with. Okay, that was the way season 1 ended.
I wonder if you went
scene.
past me because I was going downwards. I wasn't starting from the beginning. I was starting from the end.
Oh, then I went way past you. Okay.
Yeah. Just because I didn't know how, I didn't want to keep scrolling to find the beginning, so I just started from like
Sarah. There was Mikey. There was Will.
So I'll continue to the next one. The next one is.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. I found
Phoenix BJJ. Saracen #wows #DVD.
Okay, so we're skipping Doogie.
Doogie. Yes.
Okay, skipping Doogie.
Yep.
Okay, so. All right.
Okay.
When working on the scenes with martial arts, how difficult was it to keep everyone from getting hurt, especially considering the differences in the styles?
We have the best fight choreographers in the business, Hiro Koda and Janelle Kerfman. They are constantly focused on making sure the fights are badass, but safe for the actors, which we also interviewed them as well. Lovely couple. Great follows on Instagram, too.
Yes. Super sweet. Janelle is freaking gorgeous, too, in person.
That's right. We met them in person. I wish they would adopt me.
You wish, they would adopt you?
Yeah, Jacob Bertrand is hanging out with them now, and they're riding quads all over, their farm and going to drive-in movies and watching ET. It sounds like a good-ass time.
I apologize profusely to everyone for Dozer's inability to shut up. He normally never barks, and there was a dog right on the other side of our fence barking at him. And
okay, so yes.
Yeah, he's just decided he's going to keep barking. I apologize. And his cage is in the room I record in, so there's nothing I can do.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
One of my co-hosts, his dog makes an appearance almost on every episode too. Brody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dogs are podcasters. They really are. There's a few pods out there.
There is music, Kaz. You're not hallucinating.
He might be
definitely hearing the music. It's really, really super low. But it's the same Cruel Summer that plays during the trivia. All right. So Josh Singer at Josh Singer 1322. Don't say who, but will someone die in season 3?
Yes.
I hate that. Why? Why would? Oh my God! Now Stoney's barking. Okay. Why would he say that? Why would he tell us that?
For the same reason that they gave us the Okinawa plot point, just because it's so, vague. Doesn't say when, doesn't say who. So I'm just kind of scrolling through the comments here.
Because after what they did to us last season, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's just mean. All right.
I mean, that is a spoiler. So we know someone's dying.
Right.
So we'll be looking for it.
Right. But is it in reality? Is it a flashback? Is it... Is Daniel going to Okinawa for Sato's funeral?
Right. Watch Party says it looks like John replied to a bunch of tweets without quote tweeting, and we don't go into those. We only do strictly the quote tweeting because then we would never finish doing these episodes.
Right, and it used to be that the ones that he answered in line were like more personal questions, and ones that people wouldn't necessarily want broadcast out on a podcast. The June 25th Q&A though, he answered like normal ones. And it actually made me think that Hayden had hijacked his Twitter for a while, because that's how Hayden does it. Hayden just answers them all in line.
He just replies.
But yeah, there were 196 comments under that question, and then we only asked 25 questions.
On the topic of,
there were a ton.
Not really a topic, but on the mention of Hayden, shout outs to you, Top Dog. What is your take on his scrappy tweet recently? Be scrappy?
Always be scrappy?
Yeah.
Well, I made a Shaggy joke out of it.
Right. But that came out of nowhere.
Well, so did Josh talking about the expired milk.
We knew what that was kind of referencing. We don't know what the hell he's talking about being scrappy.
Well, scrappy just means you never give up in a fight. You keep fighting until you can't. And with Scrappy Doo, he kind of beats his head into a wall even when he should probably stop. Plus, he's a smart ass and he's a bit of an asshole.
Oof. Brianna's opinions are
of Scrappy, not of Hayden.
Oh, okay. Yes, Switch says Josh is the most random. Indeed, he is.
Yeah, and Mikey's right. They did just make the Scooby, the new Scooby. Is it a new show or a new movie?
I believe it's a new show. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So now I've got a whole bunch of people slamming door.
Well, this
Next
is all
question.
staying in, right? I'm not going to be a hypocrite.
Oh my
I'm
God!
keeping it all in.
I'm everything that could go wrong is going wrong tonight. I apologize.
I know what
everyone.
that is like.
Yes.
I know what that is like. That happened to me the day of the live stream.
Right? That was a bad day for you. Here's hoping that we've got the few issues out of the way for tomorrow. With me putting the wrong date on the poster to start with.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's out there trying to build a time machine to go back to the 28th for Sean Kanan guest host.
Right, but then Sean was like, yesterday he was like, be there with me tomorrow. And it's like, we're not going to be there tomorrow. And I almost texted you and went, should you tell Sean it's Sunday?
I did. Well, I tweeted and then I texted.
Oh, okay.
He's like, right. Remind me tomorrow.
Right. Like, okay, very cool. All right, so we got it. We got all the technical difficulties and glitches and everything out of the way already.
Yes.
All right, so next question is Quad Skater Cal at CalQuad. Hi, Job. I absolutely
or Job.
I absolutely love Cobra Kai, by the way. Can we be expecting some more exciting and more intense fight scenes from Season 3?
Absolutely.
No, they're all going to be boring as hell.
Yep. No capoeira either.
No fighting. There will be no fighting. They're
just
all going
knitting
to
classes.
Smoke peace pipes and sing Kumbaya at a campfire in Daniel's backyard.
That sounds fun.
No, not really. Mitch Arbor at ArborMitch13. Will Tori be prominently featured in Season 3? Also, will Hawk finally get to win a fight, hopefully? I'm a huge fan. I hope that we do get Season 3. I'm hoping Netflix speculation is true, too. That would be awesome.
Tori does return in Season 3. As for Hawk, you'll have to watch to see how his fights turn out.
That's a plural.
That is a plural if I've ever seen one. So Hawk will be in more than one fight. Yep. And the question to John or Job, right? Nope, Job was the last one. The question Mitch asked: will Tori be prominently featured in Season 3? John says Tori does return in season 3. So he doesn't answer the question, which makes me think he's sidestepping the prominently one. So what we do know is that Payne List filmed the movie late last summer. I think she was in Australia for 4 to 5 weeks, something like that. So we don't know if that conflicted with her schedule to shoot for Cobra Kai.
Right. But then again, for season 2, they also did very, very little talking about Gianni. And then, it turns out that he was promoted to regular. He and Jacob both were. So that could just be something that if she's been promoted to regular, that they just don't want to promote it yet. They want us to find out that day.
That could be it too.
Next question from Jeff Bingham. Was Rob Garrison going through health issues when you decided to do Tommy's terminal illness?
No, Rob was healthy when we filmed, as far as we know. His passing was a surprise to all of us. So grateful we got to spend time with him when we did. A wonderful man.
That one hurts.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan Perez. Big fan of Hawk and Cobra Kai. Was the plan for him always a hawk? Though flipping... A hawk, though, for flipping the script. This would be in the outtake reel at the end if we were recording it. This is Bree trying to figure out what the crap this person means. Okay, big fan of Hawk and Cobra Kai. Was the plan for him always a hawk for flipping the script, or were there other ideas?
Hawk was always going to flip the script. We planned that from the beginning.
I think the question was actually, was it always that he was going to become a hawk, or was it like some other animal?
Right, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Who knows? Maybe it was always a hawk, though.
Yeah, it would make sense. Will Double S, what's your favorite episode of season 3?
The finale. But there are so many episodes I love.
Probably 9 others.
Yeah. I mean, he has seen season 3 quite a bit of times, and with his family.
Yeah, they binged it the other night, and now his wife and daughter are mad at him because season 4's not ready yet. And we're all still sitting here going, that's nice.
Sure, yeah. And Hayden's watched it a few times, too. The only one, I mean, for all we know, Josh probably hasn't seen a single episode.
Well,
or as active, how active he is on Twitter and all.
With him being an AI, they just kind of plug it into his brain and he downloads it.
Oh, well, how do we hack that then?
How do we hack Josh's brain? Oh my God, we are weird. Okay. Oh. Let's see. That's American Pie 4, so skipping that one. Poker Pastor at Team Poker Pastor. Does everything going on now likely have an impact on season 4, or is it still possible you get to film later this year? Never too early to be excited for season 4.
We are taking everything day by day. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Everything. Did I say that?
Yes, you said everything.
Okay, day by day. We care most about the health of our cast and crew, but hopeful we can all figure out a way to move forward safely. So we kind of touched on it a little bit in our live stream too.
Yeah, but things were not as bad in Georgia as they are right now. South Georgia is a cesspool.
Right.
I know of 2 entire towns that literally 95% of the population is infected. So, we shall see.
Right.
This is from Jay, Celeb Fakes 1028. Will Robbie be in trouble in season 3, like with the cops? Love the show.
The guy kicked a dude off a balcony. He's in trouble. Well, There you go. The first time I saw this one, a little insight into what will happen to Robbie early on in season 3.
Yeah, or maybe throughout season 3. I still disagree with it. But I don't know, maybe juvenile justice in Illinois is completely different than it is in California.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what happened to what happens to, kids around here who get in fights where the person that they're fighting, I mean, it would be probation. That would be it.
All right.
Unless Robbie has a bunch of priors that it didn't look to me like he'd ever been arrested, right?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
And this would be his first violent offense because Robbie wasn't a violent kid.
Gonna need you to take over real quick while I go use the restroom.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to mute Peter's microphone there. Now you're all stuck with me for the next however long. Robbie will dye his hair black and move to Mexico and call himself Rigel Diaz. Possible, I guess. Next question is from 80s Video. Hi, John. How is the new soundtrack coming along? And Hurwitz replied, love the music in Season 3. Some classic songs, especially in the finale, and our composers killed it, as usual. We haven't really gotten the little snippets of songs and things like that for Season 3 like we did for Season 2. We did get that one really depressing, dark rendition of Johnny's story that they were playing with real early on. I think that was December. God, I've lost all concept of the passage of time. But I do remember there being like a really, really super dark version of Johnny's story. Yeah, Carrie, the composers do always kill it. And I think, Kaz, you're right, too. I think we're going to go and we're going to have something a lot closer, at least for half this, however many episodes Daniel is in Okinawa. I think we're going to have something a lot closer to Conti's score. And most likely a lot of his stuff from, the original movies. I definitely think the song Okinawa will make several appearances. Daniel and Kumiko, the two looking at one love theme and things like that. I think all of that's probably going to come back into play in some way, shape, or form. Love to hear Rock and Roll Over You again. Have Daniel walk into a bar with that playing. That would be awesome. Next question is from AJ at Ghost Town Willie. How long does your writer's room have to plot the series, and how long does each script take to reach shooting? Cheers. To which Hurwitz replied, takes us about a week to plot out each episode. Usually takes between 4 to 8 weeks to get a script ready for production. Wow, that's fast. That's super fast. All right, Mikey Graff is next. It was great seeing Dimitri learn karate in Season 2. Will we see any other established characters learn karate? Amanda, Carmen, Cousin Louie? To which Hurwitz says, perhaps. Carmen and Amanda would not bother me in the slightest, but you guys all know what I think of Louie. Love Brett Ernst. Don't care if I ever see Louie again. So, we'll find out, I guess. Always perhaps with this one. I asked it anyway, Mikey. Haha, I didn't see you say to skip it until I'd already read it, so you're just stuck with it. Okay. And Peter's back.
I am back. I was looking for my keys for like 5 minutes and I couldn't find it.
Is that a swipe at me?
I mean, not a swipe, but yeah. I didn't want to break up again that I had to run to the restroom. All right, so where are we at?
You announced you were going to the restroom before you
Let's keep on going. Let's move it along. Let's not talk about me here.
A Dynamic Voltage in the chat says there's a guy with cornrows in Cobra Kai. Kind of looks like Busta Rhymes. He's got a menace about him, hoping they develop him. Doesn't AJ? AJ has braids.
He does, but he doesn't look like Busta Rhymes.
Nothing
Busta
like
Rhymes
Busta
has
Rhymes.
a goatee and stuff.
But AJ, especially in the last scene, does have a bit of a menace about him when he steps up behind Kreese. I mean,
Yeah,
All eight of
they all do.
those, yeah, all eight of those students that are in that room with him have a definite hardness about them. And I would like to see AJ developed a little bit more. I would like to see him, step out and get a little more airtime, like Edwin. Especially with Miyagi-Do being so much smaller than Cobra Kai in season 2, we saw a lot more of Edwin in season 2 than we did of him in season 1.
Right.
So now if we're down to just the 8 kids under Kreese at Cobra Kai, so maybe they can focus a little bit more on AJ too.
I think that's a good idea.
And Dieter. I think they're the only 2 original, like the season 1 Cobra Kai kids that stayed with him, right? Are just AJ and Dieter?
AJ, well, it would be Dieter is played by
Craig.
Right, Craig. So it would be Dieter, Edwin. What about Gabe?
Gabe was not there.
No,
No,
in
Tim was
season
not there.
one?
Tim was not there. And Edwin.
Oh, you talk about at the very end.
Abe plays
I
Edwin.
gotcha. Yeah.
Abe plays Edwin. Right? Or do I have them backwards?
Oh gosh.
I may have their character names backwards.
I feel AJ is Edwin, if I'm not mistaken.
Is Owen still in the chat?
He's probably asleep by now. I don't know.
He's a good boy.
Abe.
I need to reference that poster at all times that I have.
Jaden plays Abe. But
Okay.
Jaden's Miyagi-Do now.
Okay.
Is that right?
Jaden plays Abe. AJ
Okay.
plays Edwin.
All right.
I had
That sounds correct.
that so screwed up in my head.
It's all right. Look, you have so much knowledge. You ever seen that episode? Did you watch Married with Children?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where Kelly goes on this game show, and Al is the one that teaches her all these things about sports and whatever, and so anytime she learned something new, something old would leave her head.
Yes.
And it's kind of like that. Like, you know so much, though. I mean, and some things you just forget because you know so much.
And this is one that happens to me actually all the time.
There's a lot of characters.
To where I think Abe is the actor's name and I forget Jaden's name. And then I think AJ plays someone who's not. I do that with those 2 in particular all the time.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. But then again,
Well,
I boil it down to like Frank and not Frank.
Right.
For the
Let's not
you
go
know.
there, okay? I still have a hard time. Cameron plays Frank.
Cameron is Frank, and I do not know the kid that plays not Frank.
The kid who plays not Frank.
It's just like Mr. Blue Mats because I keep forgetting his name. He has an actual name.
Not just Keith.
And Matt uses it all the time to reference the character, and I just call him Mr. Blue Mats because I can never remember, but I remember George and Ron and Sue.
Right. And I only know him as Keith Burden. Keith. What's his middle name? He's got one of those 3 names. But anyway, let's move along.
Okay, let's move along. All right. From Alan Cruz, is the yellow car in Cobra Kai the original yellow car from the Karate Kid movies?
Yes, Ralph was given the car from Karate Kid back in the day. We fixed it up and used it on the show. Huh. I wonder what they had to fix.
Ralph had mentioned that, it had been in storage for a while, so it had gotten a little dusty, and I'm guessing that it maybe had some engine and transmission issues, being a 70-year-old car.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I do, Christy. I do need to talk to Harley. Because she's got that guide to the backgrounders, and what I usually do is reference that poster of all the kids on the mat at the All Valley, but then that doesn't have the season 2 kids in it either. So, all right, we're gonna skip Liam. You can see what Liam here. I'll hit the GIF so everyone can see what Liam looks like.
He looks like Will Ferrell to me.
Yeah, Phil Werrell. John can relate. That's what we're all feeling. Waiting for season 3. Okay. Next. Sarah Billimer, our friend. Hey, John, do the big three and or your writing team have preferences on who writes Daniel scenes versus Johnny scenes? Like, do some of your writers feel they have a better handle on one character versus the other?
That's a really good question,
That's
actually.
a very good question.
Yeah. John replies, the entire staff writes Johnny and Daniel scenes, but Hayden, Josh, and I make adjustments to each script to make sure they are hitting on all cylinders and the voices are on point. Most of our writers have worked on the show for 3 seasons now, so everyone's dialed in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have much more to comment on that, but I wanted to shout out Sarah, who just started a new podcast called Talking Fanfic, Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
So she just released her second episode today. I'm almost done with that. But yeah, if you guys are interested to hear more about the fanfic side of a fandom, definitely check her out.
Yes. Today, I believe they were workshopping their own fic.
They were supposed to do a workshop episode, but she ended up talking about Kira Bay's recent fanfic. It took Sarah like 4 hours to read it or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She had to reshuffle some things.
Okay.
On that, but yeah, the Sarah or the Laura episode will come next, I believe.
Okay. All right, and then there will be a Brie episode at some point.
Yep. Looking forward to that. Make sure you hit that subscribe.
I should probably, write some more and release something before then.
Sure.
Writing and I, we have issues. Okay, so next question is from Joel Weber. How can we get a Cobra Kai prequel?
Hopefully that'll happen one day. We've definitely talked about it.
We already have a Cobra Kai prequel.
Do we?
It's called The Karate Kid.
Okay, sure. I guess one could also debate the comics, even.
Right. But, well, that fills in Johnny's story in the movie.
Right. I just wanted to read Mikey G's comment here. Does Chris, the stunt guy, have a character name? And I feel he might know the answer to this, is maybe why he asked that. But if it's the same Chris we're thinking of, his character name is Mikey. Clearly named after Cobra Kai Mikey.
Yes. Clearly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to skip the baseball one. And the next... Okay, Sarah's a Mets fan, so we're just going to skip all Sarah's questions, because all her questions are about the Mets. From Philippe.
There we go.
Mr. Hurwitz. Between the idea of creation on paper, where you could visualize mentality, the scenes, and now, by noting now, the final result of this Series 3 in post-production, what feeling sums up your heart the most and why?
Making Cobra Kai has been a dream come true in every way. Season 3 is extremely ambitious, especially given our budget, and I'm confident we pulled off something special and unlike anything else on television. Well, damn.
I would say that is a pretty good feeling in his heart.
Yeah. But, you know what? I'm just going to wait to watch it myself.
Right.
I don't...
I don't think we'll disagree.
Right. But I also don't want to, hype myself up and be underwhelmed, which I can't see that happening, but I'm just saying,
Right. All right, so skipping the Star Wars question and going to Lex Aheda at Stormy Sidey. The episodes were mostly 25 or 28 minutes. Will Season 3 episodes be longer?
Yes, we have 2 or 3 episodes that are north of 35 minutes.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, and I feel... Well, north of 35 minutes. I don't know. I feel like I recall something about like maybe even close to 40 minutes. So, that's not far off.
Right. And the reason that I'm excited about that one there is 42 minutes is a 60-minute episode of television with the commercials taken out.
Right.
30-minute episodes are 21. and 60-minute episodes are 42. So this is, at this point, reaching the point of being damn near an hour-long drama on CBS or NBC or something like that.
Right. Watch Party asked, well, is it 2 or 3 episodes? Does he not know? You know, and I don't think he does. But if I was one of them watching this all on my lonesome because I can't share it with anybody else as often as they do, they may not even pay attention to the runtime.
Yeah, and I mean 2 or 3 ballpark. You know, he's avoiding spoilers. He's trying to
That
be
too.
vague.
Good point. Yeah.
Even though he straight up told us someone's gonna die. I don't think I'm gonna forgive him for that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see when that comes.
All right, Domingo Rubiez, at Mingo Rubiez. Miguel's mom mentions that his dad is the kind of guy you don't want to mess with. Will we ever meet him?
Perhaps one day.
Yeah, hopefully.
Now, let's say that he will be introduced at some point. Do you see it being possible that it would happen in season 3?
I think anything is possible. I think I don't want to meet him in season 3.
Right. I was. When did this come up? I was talking with somebody. Oh, I think it was JR yesterday because I did a Periscope on Twitter yesterday, 2.5 hours long. I don't even know how that happened, but that came up. The Miguel's dad, and I said, well, I mean, I kind of said what you said. Like, it's possible. I don't want him in season 3. For as little as we already know what's going to happen in season 3, there is so much that needs to be addressed as it is. And
Right.
why would you throw in Miguel's father, in that as well?
Right. I could see him maybe being a catalyst for Carmen letting Johnny back in their lives again.
Mm-hmm.
Because Johnny could protect Miguel from that in her mind. If his father really is, as bad as she has said. Or maybe it would be bad enough that, I don't think Carmen would actively believe that she needs anyone to protect her, but Johnny may actually need to do it.
Right.
So if we're getting into that level of drama, I really don't know how that fits into what we already know is going on. Unless that plot line is going on while Daniel is in Okinawa, because it gives Johnny something heavy and weighty to deal with while Daniel's gone.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think he's going to sit around and twiddle his thumbs for, however long waiting for Daniel to get back.
I agree.
My rival ran off to another country. I'm just going to sit here and wait for him to return.
Maybe we'll be surprised and they went together.
God, that would make me so happy.
Let's move it along.
Okay. Ludwig at El Raud. Yeah, you can see it.
Nailed it.
Pronounce it. How much actual karate training do the kids do for the show, or is it mostly limited to stunt work? Any of them taken up karate?
All of the kids do a ton of karate training. They have stuntmen and women, but much of the fighting you see on the show is actually the actors.
And big news from the world of the actors. Did you see what Gabe did today?
I know that he got a belt.
Second degree black.
Yep, there we go. Second degree black belt. Congratulations to Gabe B.
Yes, and Owen, didn't Owen get his first black?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
A little while back.
You got me.
It messes with me because Owen's mother and stepfather run a karate dojo.
Right.
The kid knows karate.
Yes.
And one would assume he's really, really good at it. And Bert is the one that we see getting knocked down and thrown around and kicked around and knocked over by people that, are flipping and flying. Like Bert is too tiny and too weak to do it right.
Right.
And it's always kind of like in my head, I'm always going, but he's probably the one who knows the most.
Right.
So yeah, I always like that kind of, and that's part of the reason why I want to see Bert really get into it and developing stuff,
Yeah.
So
there's some questions coming out in the group. asking like when it's going to be released. As of right now, there is nothing that's been confirmed. I know that Drew's getting a shout out here. Apparently, Drew said that it was October or September. I haven't listened or watched whichever video where he says that, and I'm sure it's just a guess.
Yeah, Drew is guessing September or October.
I mean, we have half the year left, so
Fightin' Flicks is putting his money on December 19th.
Okay.
He's got some super secret sources, which basically means he has a friend who works for Netflix and has told him, what's on the I just completely forgot the word.
On the docket?
It's not it is a docket, but there's a word for it. Slate.
Okay, a slate. Yeah, slate of
what's
movies
on the slate for the back
releases.
half of the year. Cobra Kai is not on it, but The Witcher is. But The Witcher didn't get filmed because they hadn't started filming yet before COVID struck. So The Witcher is still on the slate, but there is no season.
Is this like the person in France or something that leaked information? Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. But I told him, I was like, it's probably just not on there because they haven't got their marketing in place to put it on there yet. I wouldn't expect it to be on there yet. The preview that's coming out tomorrow with all of their fall originals and stuff, I don't think it'll be on there either. But I don't think that's necessarily going to indicate anything. They've owned this property for a little over 2 weeks. For anyone to expect them to have the marketing in place and the scheduling and everything in place like they do for these shows that they've owned, from the onset or for a year or two, just doesn't make any sense. They need time to fit it in.
Right.
And figure out where it's going to go. That said, if it does get pushed off to December, I hope it's December 19th.
Okay.
But I don't want it in December either.
Right. Anything I say would just be a guess too. So there's plenty of other people guessing out there. There's no,
right.
Mine holds no water. So.
Flicks for Fans doesn't answer the question. Where was she, if not in that final scene? Just curious. She wasn't in the scene.
This is Aisha, right?
Yeah, he's talking about Aisha. She wasn't with Kreese. She was one of about 15 students that were not in that back room. And as for where she is, none of us know.
We don't know, and guess what? I bet you her parents aren't happy about that fight.
No, we just know that she wasn't with him. Bert wasn't with him. Tim wasn't with him. Who else was missing out of there? Back in that room was Big Red, Dieter, Tori, Edwin, Raymond, Hawk, and the Asian kid, the Filipino boy, Serrano.
Oh, that's his real last name.
The actor's name, yeah.
Right. I don't
think
know
his
if he
character has a name yet. But yeah, those are the 8 that were back there. We don't know where any of the rest of them. No, I mean Raymond. Ain't no stingray in this dojo. Okay,
hey,
here we go.
You guys keep your debates over on Watch Party's channel, okay?
I kick his butt again. Next question.
Oh, gosh.
Kevman17. I love you, Chris. What part of either season 1 or season 2 was the hardest to write?
We have the first half of the season fully written when we start production, with the second half outlined and in process. Often there will be something in that second half that needs reworking because of what we shot. Doing that while filming is the biggest challenge. That's interesting. That kind of reminds me of how, like, Bert, for example, was upgraded in season 1.
Right.
He was just supposed
where
to
he
be
was supposed
background.
to be just background, and then he ends up with multiple lines by the end of the season.
Yep.
And that happened with Nathan, with Nathaniel.
Right. Was supposed to be background, and somebody said, "Hey, let's have him rival Bert.
Right. All right, so Tucker and Bernie again. Season 2, end of episode 10. Why was Kreese in the back room of the dojo with the Cobras? If he believed it was his right to take over the dojo, why not have the lesson in the front room?
The back room was more badass in his opinion. Better for a late night session.
You know what I think?
Hmm.
I think he was hiding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, he may believe it's his God-given right or his God-given dojo or whatever. But I really don't think he wanted Johnny to see him. Because he's most likely been doing that for a while back there.
Yeah.
After Johnny would leave. So
He is sneaky like a snake.
yeah, kind of earned that one. Cobra Kai never dies at Cobra Never. Who would you join, Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai?
Probably Miyagi-Do, because it's free.
It's hard to argue with that one.
Yeah.
But then he hashtagged it Cobra Kai.
Well, it's the name of the show.
Right? Make up your mind.
I mean, he's also got a typo there, too. So, what are you going to do?
Right. All right, let's see. Justin Harvey. I noticed in Cobra Kai that Johnny looks up the movie Bloodsport. Was that put in the script intentionally? Are you guys fans of that film? I've been curious about that since I noticed it in that scene.
Pretty sure that was a decision Hayden, Josh, and I made in post. Felt like a movie that Johnny would love, and we're fans too.
I'm with Sensei Pilani on this one.
Yeah, I've learned this recently.
Not a big JCVD fan. Actually, not even a small one.
All right.
Never got the traction, never got the draw, and everybody, come at me and literally at me if you want to. I do not like Jean-Claude Van Damme. I have never seen all of Bloodsport. To me, the best thing about it is the gif of him screaming into the microphone and the other guy playing the drums.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie.
They're actually doing that, huh? They're actually performing.
Yeah.
Let's see. From Johnny Kane, John Hurwitz, what are your top 5 episodes in Cobra Kai?
How do you expect me to choose between my babies? What are your top 5 episodes?
I love that he puts it like that.
Yeah, actually, I kind of remember this response, but I thought it was when somebody had asked him like who was his favorite of the young cast.
Oh no, those would be literal babies.
Right.
Sticky Mango, what was the most hard thing to do this season?
Shooting the finale.
And there we go again with the finale.
Yeah, I was about to freaking say that myself. Here we go again. The finale.
Always the finale.
Ooh. But hey, you gotta make it big, right? The second season is big, third season bigger, so you can't digress, right?
Right. You can't go backwards. There's no point in going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't make it to make it worse, right? You got to make it better. All right, and next from Owen Morgan, at Owen Morg. Favorite Bert scene?
It's in season 3. You know the one. We'll say no more.
That's no fair.
Hey.
See, now Owen's in on it too. Asking questions that only they know the answers to. Come on.
Right. We got a few people in here. I might as well go ahead and announce it now. Owen will be joining me at some point tomorrow on Instagram Live to give his thoughts on Karate Kids Part 2 and 3.
Now that he's finally seen them.
Yes. So if you guys haven't, go out or go on, rather, his Instagram account because he's got a picture of him wearing the Miyagi-Do headband.
Right? I keep saying that, he's a closet Miyagi-Do. I think he's going to switch sides. Sarah said no, he's a Cobra. His mom said that he's a Cobra in his heart, and he's just going to stay one.
Whoa. She says in his heart, but we don't know where his mind's at, so.
Right? Mm-hmm. I would love to see Bert go Miyagi-Do. I would so much. I
want to see something where, Daniel is addressing all of his students, and it's panning, and like Bert just happened to sneak in and like stand in the ranks, and there's one of those like record scratches, like, what are you doing here? you know?
Okay, so that was the oh my god, that was the second half when he returned, because we just got to the point where he says need to run for now. See that there are a lot of unanswered questions. We'll try to get more later. So there's like another hour worth back there.
You think so?
I betcha.
Well, let's see how quick we can get through these.
Oh my god. Okay. So we've already been on for an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, right? No, an hour and a half. I can count.
Yeah.
People asking in the chat, over under that Elizabeth Shue will appear in season 3. That's from Flicks for Fans. Dynamic Voltage says 100% chance. Dynamic Voltage, I disagree with you highly. I think the chance is very, very small.
I disagree with you 100% that she won't be in it.
You disagree with me or with him?
With him.
Yeah,
with them.
Yeah, he's like 100% chance that she is in season 3. Too much setup for it. And I am 0% chance that she will be in season 3 because there's too much setup for it. It's too obvious.
So Dynamic Voltage doubles down. My gut tells me she splits up with her husband and goes back home, and she finds out about Miguel through Johnny.
Nope.
Okay, she probably hasn't even thought about this guy in 35 years until she gets a friend request.
Right. Everybody's wanting everybody to get divorced. Everybody wants Amanda and Daniel to break up so he can go get with Kumiko. Everybody wants Allie to break up with Greg so she can go get with Johnny. Okay, they call it a karate soap opera, but this is not Degrassi High School, okay?
Is it that bad on that show?
Well, it was in the 80s when I watched the original, but I don't know. When it was Degrassi High School, actually it started out as Degrassi Junior High.
That sounds like Saved by the Bell when it was originally Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Yeah, it was Degrassi Junior High, and then it was Degrassi High School, and then when they brought it back in the 90s, it was just Degrassi. But this is not a teenage romance show. They're not breaking up 20-year long marriages, so they can respectively run off with their significant others that they had for a few months when they were 16, 17 years old.
Right.
Not happening. I think what we've seen from the writers so far on the 2 seasons that we do have, they set up a lot of tropes and they set up a lot of things that we want to see just to knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with Daniel and the, clapping and rubbing his hands together like he was going to reduce Robbie's shoulder, and then he calls for a medic. They do that with setting Daniel up to break the ice, and then they don't let him do it. So they do all of this setup, and they, fade us out on Allie's cell phone sitting in the sand, and it's like, oh my God, that means she's going to be there. No, that's an anvil, and these guys don't do anvils. These guys do scalpels.
Okay, what do those mean?
Okay, anvil. The big rock metal things that the Roadrunner was always dropping on Wile E. Coyote's head?
I know what an actual anvil is, yes.
Yes, that's it. If they say that, a writer is hitting you with an anvil, it means they're hitting you in the head with something obvious.
Okay.
And scalpel just means precise. They're very surgically precise with their writing.
Okay.
And these guys are much more surgical than they are heavy-handed.
Yes, they are. That's something that we often bring up in these type of episodes where we cover the Q&As, because we say they are very deliberate with their words. Whether it's tweets, the writing on the show, these episodes, they're roughly 30 minutes each, so they have to really get down the dialogue and say exactly what they mean and how to say certain things, convey that dialogue. Okay,
and Star Tropic and Christy both pointing out to me, Invisible Observer, both pointing out that there was The Kids of Degrassi Street. I actually didn't watch that one, so that is why I was unaware that one existed. I watched Degrassi Junior High when I was in junior high, so that, as far as I knew, that was the first one.
Yeah. So Flicks for Fans asked, who is the surprise guest for season 3 then? Well, if we knew, it wouldn't be a surprise.
When were we told that we had a surprise guest?
I don't know, probably because we're shooting down Allie.
But I mean, were we told that there was going to be a surprise guest?
Yeah, I don't know. Was there a surprise in season? Well, I guess in season 2 was your OG Cobras. Season 1, what are we gonna see? Lucille? What's the surprise guest?
Season 1 was Lucille. Season 1 was Crease. Season 2 would be Bobby, Tommy, and Jimmy. But just because they've done surprise guests doesn't mean they have to. And besides, even if they brought her on, not a surprise anymore, is it? Since everybody thinks she's going to be there.
Right. You got that going too.
Yep.
And what do we know? We just do a podcast.
Right. Yep. And also, since I saw it back up there, no, Mike Barnes is not Miguel's father. Neither is Terry Silver. But if you think he is, I'm not going to call you an uneducated idiot. Moving on. Andrew Patterson. If Harold and Kumar, whoops, sorry, skipping Andrew. Amy. Sabrina Obscura. Our friend Amy. Our mod, Amy. Is she still in there? Kind of a random question that for some reason Iron Eagle Johnny made me think of. What was the last thing you shot in season 1?
We shoot the episodes in blocks, so we shot episodes 9 and 10 at the same time. The final night in Atlanta, we actually shot everything at the Canyon bonfire. It was absolutely freezing. The last thing up was Sam and Robbie getting out of the car walking to the party.
That explains why Sam is hugging herself and shivering and... I knew it was cold at the canyon.
Yeah.
But now the way she was standing, where she like had the one arm, her hand tucked under her arm while she was talking with her other hand. Now that makes sense. She was probably cold.
Yeah, I think it was in one of the interviews, either with Annalisa Cochran or Nicole Brown. One of them did say it was freezing that night.
Yeah. Oh, good night, Kiara. Good morning, Kiara.
Yeah, good morning.
It's 6 a.m. Oh my gosh, that poor thing. Okay. From let's see. Is that an L or a T? Is that
L?
Powell?
Wait, where are we looking? The leg?
Powell Kowalewski.
Yeah, Kowalewski is what it looks like.
Well, the Kowalewski I think I have, is that Powell or is that Powett? I can't tell if it's an L or a T.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the L too. I think it's Powell.
Okay. Have you ever swept somebody's leg?
What else am I supposed to do with people's legs?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. He's asking.
That's what they're there for.
They're to sleep.
Killian Gameau, how do you approach writing a fight scene?
We approach fights first and foremost from a dramatic perspective. Who's fighting? Why? And what's the end result? Not just physically, but what are the repercussions? We make sure we're telling a story within the fight, and we try to make each fight unique in some way. Shit.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. I think if Dimitri's involved, the word shit will always be involved. We should just assume that at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's 10 after 11. Okay. Andrew Patterson, with the way season 1 ended, many fans expected Miguel to go down a darker path in season 2, but this ultimately did not happen. Did you, Josh, and Hayden consider having Miguel go down a dark path in season 2? And if yes, why didn't you do it?
I don't see his response.
There, I scrolled back up.
Slight delay there.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, about 5 seconds.
At his core, Miguel is a good kid being raised by a loving mother and grandmother. He also had a strong allegiance to Johnny at the end of season 1. With Johnny's philosophy starting to evolve, we felt Miguel would evolve with him. Makes sense.
Yeah. But see, there's another example of them setting up an expectation at the end of one season that did not come to fruition at the beginning of the next one.
Right.
Just saying. Let's see. Ben, 2 questions. What would be your thoughts on a possible video game, and what is your personal favorite fight in Cobra Kai?
I love the idea of a Cobra Kai video game. Perhaps one day we'll get our wish. Is that a winking emoticon that you put there?
He's Yes, he is winking.
Okay. As for my favorite fight, it's hard to pick just one. Probably the high school brawl in season 2 finale, followed by Miguel in the cafeteria. Some great fights in season 3, though, too.
I am gonna have to go.
Okay.
Because someone just fell down my basement stairs. So
Oh, yikes.
yeah.
Okay, guys. We're going to have to end this prematurely.
Yep. Sorry. Remember where we were. We'll come back to it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or we just might end this. There's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions, and they're not valid anymore anyway. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into our live stream. Come back tomorrow for the Trivia Championship. That's going to conclude this episode and all of the Q&As.
Yes. Sorry. It was very premature. I apologize, but I got to go find out if this kid is okay. So.
Okay. All right, guys. See you all later.
All right. Bye.